Now, over to the conversation for today. Somebody can type in the chat, in the comment section, just say, I am ready. Okay, today I'm going to be sharing with you how to get lessons from a heartbreak. If you would recall, I have spoken about this severally, even when I just started these sessions in 2021, I had spoken about heartbreak and how that one day I'm going to share with people on how to get lessons out of a heartbreak. Okay, I see you. You're ready. Yeah. Okay. RJB. Yeah, you're ready. Okay, so I remember that I had said before that one day I would share about how people can extract lessons, because what happens is if you get out of one relationship, it's not just about staying single for a while before you get into the next one. It's mostly about what is happening during that period that you're single. Okay, so it's not just that I just finished a relationship, I beg, let me just take some time. I'm not ready to get into another one. Yes, that is good. But while you're taking some time, what are you doing with that time? RJB, yes, I see you. What are you doing with that time? Dima, I see you. You're ready? Correct. Telumuna, correct. Telumu, amen. Forgive me. All right. So, it's not just about waiting, but what are you doing with that waiting period? Listen, the reason many people carry their heartbreak, their frustrations from one relationship to another is because they never truly healed from it. But even in healing from it, they never truly sat to evaluate the previous relationship so that they could extract wisdom, extract sense. Listen, every experience in your life is a teacher. Let me say it again. Every experience in your life is a teacher. Life is a school and every experience a teacher. Okay, so you need to know how to learn the lessons. What lesson am I supposed to get out of this? No matter how unpleasant it is. If you cannot do this, see, I dare say that there are certain areas of your life that you will not make progress because you will never be able to go beyond a particular place. Your mind is like a boundary to you. All right. So if you don't deliberately challenge certain thinking patterns, those patterns would keep you restricted. So in that relationship, you need to find out how to get those lessons out so that you don't repeat them again, so that you can identify them when they are showing up in your next relationship or in the next person you're considering for a relationship. Now, to take this exercise, because I'm going to share certain things with you which are very practical and which I will encourage people to sit by themselves and actually think. Okay, think through and answer the questions. Now, if you're someone who have experienced a heartbreak before, then this is very, very relevant for you. It's very relevant. Okay, but what I want you to do in answering these questions is to be sincere with yourself. Listen, nobody is going to punish you. Nobody is asking you to show your report card. Nobody is exposing you. In fact, in this session, I'm speaking to you personally. I'm speaking to you directly. Okay, so there's no other person who is aware of what we're discussing about. My point is, feel free to be honest with yourself. It is a great disservice to yourself to lie to yourself. Some people have mastered the art of deceiving themselves so well, they lie to themselves so much and they believe their own lies. Can you just imagine that level of delusion? You know what you are saying is wrong. You are lying to yourself. You have accepted your own lie for no reason. Nobody's there even challenging you. You just created a lie for yourself and sold it to yourself. You bought it, believe it, what's the word now? Internalized it, and you're living it as your reality when you know it is a lie. Listen, to take some of these questions I'm going to ask you, you need to be, brutally honest with yourself. You need to be brutally honest. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions, and this is all I want to treat in this session today. I'll ask a few questions and talk through them as much as I can, and by God's grace, we'll take it within the time that we have. Now, the first question I want to ask you is, during that heartbreak, what exactly are the emotions you're feeling? Okay, it's not a stupid question. Listen, because you need to be able to profile exactly what your emotions, what exactly is going on in your heart. People handle these things in different ways. Now, you see, last week, one of the things I shared with you was about those stages of grief, the denial. This is not happening. It's a lie. No, I can't believe it. Not me. Leave me. She left me. No way. He's going out with another girl. No, after all, there's that denial. And then there is anger. There is anger. You're really boiling. Some people take it out physically. They go to that person's house and destroy things. Some physically attack the person. There are ladies who have been harmed terribly. Some have even lost their lives because they were trying to get out of a relationship, and the guy felt so heartbroken and he said, if I'm not having you, no other person is going to have you. And there are stories like that here and there. I try not to extract some of these stories, but you see them every now and again. Okay, there was a time someone went and killed his fiancée who he was engaged to already, simply because I think he felt like she had a child for someone else or something. I can't remember what the story was. But my point is, so many people don't even really get to make it out because they have a kind of partner who's just a terror and a danger to themselves and to the relationship. Okay, so that anger, what happened was those people couldn't control that anger, they couldn't handle it, and then they took it out physically on their partners. All right, so that's a terrible, that's an extreme. Okay, but I want you to identify what exactly is the emotion you feel right now. Okay, is it anger? Is it pain? Is it denial? Have you lost motivation? Is it depression? Have you lost excitement completely? Have you lost appetite? What exactly? Is it disappointment? How could he do that? I held him in so much high esteem. How could they do that? We've been friends for a long time. I didn't even see this coming. If someone had told me this was going to happen, I would not believe it. You're seeing all of those things to yourself. Like I said in the first session of dealing with heartbreaks, you need to accept your feelings. You need to accept your emotions. You are a human being. God put those feelings in you. That is why you feel them. All right. So you need to accept it. One trouble some people have here is, instead of accepting those emotions, they tend to feel as though they are not supposed to feel that way. I'm supposed to be bigger than this. I'm a man. Men don't cry. I laugh when people say that, Men cry. You're a human being. Your emotions can be hurt and you can cry. If you have to cry, please cry. Okay, so you need to identify that emotion. You need to own it, because trying to deny it is not going to help you. So you see what denial does? Denial tries to pretend that thing never happened. As a matter of fact, that's one of the ways that some people handle grief, or a loss of someone. They just try to tell themselves, I'm not thinking about it. It never happened. It never happened. But no matter how much you push that denial, it is not going to change the situation. It's not going to revert it to what it was. It's not going to bring that person back. It's not going to restore that relationship. Okay, so you need to own these emotions so that you can treat them properly and you can get out of them healthily. I hope somebody understands what I'm saying. So what exactly is the emotion in your heart? You want to identify it. I feel hurt. I feel like it's my fault. Oh my God, I feel like if only I did that. Remember I spoke about that. That's the blame game. That's the bargaining state. If you come back, I will do this. I won't do this again. Oh, if you just say yes now, I will close everything in my account and buy this for you. I will marry you next tomorrow. After 7 years of waiting, finally she leaves you. Then it's next month you want to marry. That stage where you're promising everything. I want you to first of all identify what was the emotion you felt in your heart when that thing happened. Because until you identify this, then you cannot walk out of it. Okay, the next question is, why exactly do you feel the way you feel? Why exactly are you angry? He left me after I've done. No. You see, these questions, if you know how to ask the right questions, you'd always have answers. I said sometime in two sessions ago, I said you need to learn how to train your heart to handle disappointment. The reason many people are terribly heartbroken was because they didn't prepare for it. They didn't prepare, they didn't make provision. They didn't have shock absorber. There was no provision for shock. So when shocks came, it scattered everything. But if you know how to ask yourself the right questions, if you know how to prepare yourself for some of these things, listen, yeah, it will hurt you, but that hurt will have a containment. It will have an environment where it will just operate within and it wouldn't shatter your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, because you prepared for it and you're ready to catch it when it happens. You're ready to arrest it quickly before it destroys your whole life. Okay, there are people who grieve for such a long time, for years, for decades. Some people live the rest of their life not recovering from an emotionally destroying experience. Don't forget what I said in the first class, that every hurt can heal. It's ultimately up to you. Have you heard people say things like this? If you did this to me, I will never forgive you in my life. I'm never going to let it go. This one, I will hold on to it forever. Let me ask you a question. If you refuse to forgive this person for life, how is it helping your life? In fact, how is it punishing that person? How is your unforgiveness of somebody else a punishment to that person? How is your keeping malice with somebody else a punishment? Let me ask you, please, I want to understand. If you keep malice with somebody, will it remove food from the person's table? Will it remove money from the person's pocket? Will the person lose their job suddenly because you're not talking to them again? Will their life now become a sad life because you're not talking to them again? Will everything in their life start crumbling simply because you're not talking to them again? So at the end of the day, can't you see that when you think you're harboring anger and hatred for someone, can't you see that that anger, that emotion, that negative emotion is not even doing anything to the person? It's not. In fact, guess what? You go to the mall one day, you see the person getting ice cream and having a nice laugh with friends, and then your heart will be bitter. Your day is ruined. So at the end of the day, who is being punished? When you refuse to forgive people, when you refuse to let them go, who exactly is being punished? Listen, when you forgive people, you suddenly discover that you're letting go of a prisoner. The only thing is that that prisoner was not that person. That prisoner was you. You kept yourself locked up with that emotion. And the moment you let go, you see a new lease of life. You feel the fresh air. Suddenly you feel like there's a new start. That's what happens when you forgive. So I'm saying you need to be able to ask yourself, why exactly do I feel this way? Why? What exactly were the promises broken? What exactly were my expectations? Now, take note, when you answer these questions honestly, you may just discover that you were expecting things you had no business expecting from that relationship. There are people who have looked for the validation and acceptance of a father so badly that the first guy to say anything endearing to them or anything validating to them, they carry that whole weight of validation that they have been searching for from their dad for years and drop it on that guy. And then tomorrow, when he fails to validate you, or when he speaks, out of anger to you, your emotions are destroyed. You can't handle it. The question is, why do you feel that way? Can't you see that you may have invested too much expectation on a person you had no business putting that expectation? So why exactly do you feel this way? I'm angry. Oh, I'm terribly mad. Oh my God, I can't calm down. I can't take it. Wait. Why you dey vex? Ask yourself, why am I this angry? Why am I this heartbroken? Why am I this offended? All right? Some of you are angry with people who have made no commitment to you whatsoever, and you are angry. Can't you see it was you who led yourself to that point? They never made a commitment to you and you're angry with them. It's not, now there's a context in marriage, which is not even what I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to people who are in a relationship. In some cases, I'm still in a situationship or complicationship. It's not even a defined relationship. And you're so angry. What are you? In fact, you should just go and do Thanksgiving. You should leave that place. Yes, angry that this person left you, but you know what? Tell yourself it was for my good. Okay? So ask yourself, why exactly am I angry? Guess what? I've done this severally. And do you know that sometimes you just discover that anger, that hurt, that irritation, that disappointment, sometimes is not necessary. Sometimes you're carrying it too much. Sometimes you're pushing it too far. Sometimes you didn't have to. It didn't have to be such a burden to you. It didn't have to. Sometimes when you think through, you discover how you were the one who made the mistake. You will discover how you were the one who didn't pay attention to the signs. You will discover how you were the one who over-expected from this person. You will discover that you were the one who suddenly thought that this person was a fairy and not a human being. And you thought this person would just make your wishes come to pass. But they don't have the power to do that. They may genuinely and sincerely want to do certain things for you, but they are human beings and they are limited. They cannot do it. But then you took all of your emotions, all of your expectations, and you placed it on this person. And then when their natural human limitation played out, you are now so broken that you can't be repaired anymore, or so you think. So ask yourself that question really. Why exactly am I having this emotion? Now, if it's a situation where there were genuine promises and genuine commitments that were not kept, okay, meanwhile you did your part, you were faithful, you were committed, you did everything you could to make this work, but yet this person failed on their part, they failed and they kept failing, and this is entirely not your responsibility or your fault. You see, that is something that you can take away and tell yourself, well, I gave it my best. I gave it my best. This person was not deserving of me. And you need to learn to see some failed relationships that way. Tell yourself that these people were not deserving of me. Okay? Instead of always thinking that you are a victim. You see, part of the reasons that people really stay defeated for so long is because they think they are the victim. Oh, he has left me. Oh, after using me, wants to dump me now. Oh, she has left me because I don't have enough money. Oh, she left me for somebody else who was driving a car and I'm not driving it. You start feeling like you are a victim. No, you have to switch that feeling. You have to tell yourself that if they left me, and then you've asked yourself these questions, you've seen that you tried on your own part, you tried to give it your best, but for some reason they left you, tell yourself they were not worthy of you. They didn't deserve you. And remind yourself that there are better people out there who will love you, who will respect you, who will honor you, and who will not treat you the way this person treated you. And guess what? We move. You start preparing yourself to heal from this experience and, to receive the next person that God is going to bring your way. Don't behave as if a breakup has broken your life forever. No, it hasn't. You see, so I was talking about those people who say stuff like, oh, I will never forgive you. Oh, I will hold on to this for the rest of my life. Can't you see that you are the one holding on and enslaving yourself unnecessarily? The day you decide to let go, you actually can let go. Let me say that again. The day you decide to let go, you actually can let go. Yes, you can. And guess the way it works. You are not open to new opportunities. You're not open to the newness of life if you don't let go of that past experience you're holding on to. There will be great guys around you, but you would not see them because you're still holding on. I mean, some of you can attest to this. While you were in a relationship with your partner before it failed, there were several people around you, but you never even saw them. Because your brain was not looking for any other thing. Your brain was taken. You're not looking for another guy. You're not looking for another girl. It was until that person pushed you away and you suddenly discovered that, oh, this girl is not bad. And she's been around for a bit. I didn't take note. What happened? Until you walked away from something, your eyes were not open to the next thing standing by. And like I always share Dr. Mike Murdoch's quote, what you're willing to walk away from determines what God will bring to you next. What you are willing to walk away from. Joseph was willing to walk away from Potiphar's wife, and God brought him the throne. David was not willing to walk away from Bathsheba when he saw her naked. And what did it cost him? It cost him the death of his son, and the death went on, for like 4 different generations. All right? Someone says love is blind, Sha. Thank God you put the Sha there because love is not blind. Lust is blind. Infatuation is blind. Sex blinds you. And all of these are not love. All right? Emotional entanglement blinds you. What are those things? Codependence blinds you, but those things are not love. All right. So for as much as people keep thinking that love is any of those feelings, then they will be blinded. Then they will give their all and sacrifice their lives, as it were, on the altar. Oh, take me as I am. My life is yours. Use me as you wish. And when they destroy the heart, you start crying up and down. All right, because you thought that love was that feeling that was blind, but it isn't. Okay, so really ask yourself. First question was, what are the emotions you're really going through at the moment? You want to identify those emotions, and then why? Think through, why really am I going through this? Do I even have to? Do you know that, hey, this life, do you know that some people exhibit certain emotions in anticipation of what people will say when they find out? So in other words, this my guy has left me. You know that really in your mind. Well, good riddance. Let me move on. But because you want your friends who knew about the relationship to think that you are really hot or you are really going through a lot, you now start going through a lot. Oh my God, he left me. You start acting drama. Just unnecessary. Just so that people come and tell you, hey, yeah, sorry, all these men are scum. Oh, men again. You know, why act that drama? Why act that drama? You start putting up posts on your status. Nobody sent you that message. You start putting posts. They tell you that they will be there for you. As soon as they get all they want, they leave you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Someone says, but why don't we see other people when we start focusing on one person? Yes, that's the power of focus. Focus creates blindness. All right? So, yeah, that's what happens. Because you're focused somewhere, you can't notice others. And as a matter of fact, that is ideal for a relationship. When you're in a relationship, the idea is you focus on your partner and be blinded to every other person. If not, some people will never settle down in this life. Settle down as per pick one person and move on with that person. Because they're seeing this one, they're checking the other one too. That's why so many eligible bachelors are still bachelors out there. They have seen somebody that will be good for them, but they are checking in case another one will be better. Or in case another one will tick all the boxes. Or in case another one will just be that exact picture in their dream. Or in case another one will just be 100% spec. So they are walking around the place. Meanwhile, there are good people right there that they can make a choice and settle with and move on with their lives. But no, let me check if the next one will be better. And then they go 40 years, 45 years, 47 years, 50 years, and they are still unmarried. And then somehow along the line, 3 children have come out from all this rascality here and there. Okay? So, I am Icon. He's a heartbreak philosopher. All right, so let us move on. Then, I need to be a little bit faster. I think I have 9 questions in all, or 9 points in all. So the first thing I said was, so that we're together. What exactly is the emotion in your heart? Why exactly do you feel the way you feel? Then the next question is something you also need to answer very honestly. What caused this breakup? To your understanding, what caused it? When you are answering this question, please and please and please, you're checking both sides. All right? You're checking for what went wrong from your end and then what went wrong from your partner's end. Because of the selfish nature of humans, many times we feel that we exonerate ourselves. We are the okay guys. We are the good guys. And something was definitely wrong with her. She's the one. She's just a witch. She's just a terrible lady. In fact, this one, man cannot put this one in the house. She will give him problem. You make everything about her. What about you? Or is it the lady? You think that you are perfect and you are everything, but this guy is just the problem. Oh, this guy. Meanwhile, when we start asking questions and we start hearing the kind of things you were doing, we will be shocked. So ask yourself, what exactly caused this breakup to the best of your understanding? Okay? In some cases, you might not find anything. You know that kind of breakup that they'll tell you, no, it's not you, it's me. You are fine, everything I desire, you are good. But you know it's not you. It's me. I need to work on myself. I'm not good enough for you. I feel like I would draw you down in life. I feel like, oh, I'm not meant for you. I want you to be great. I feel like I'm not the one that will bring out that greatness. So I want to leave you so that somebody else will bring out the greatness in you. And then they tell you all those lines. See, if anybody is telling you that, just tell them it's okay, it's okay. Say no more. Thank you, thank you. You can come and be great. All right? It's not me, it's you. It's not you, it's me. Anyway, when they tell you that, just tell them it's okay. It's okay, thank you. It's okay. Now, the point is, sometimes people want to break up and they don't even have any reason. They really don't have any reason. So when you're asking yourself, what's causing this breakup? And you check, really, could it be this, could it be that? Because many times we start apportioning blames to ourselves of things that are not even wrong, things that we're not supposed to be blamed for. Is it because that day he said I should not call him, but I called him? Or is it because I came late? That day I was shouting at my younger brother, but he thought he was the one. You start creating things that you just think this is what will happen. Listen, be critical with yourself. Ask yourself, what do I think is the reason for this breakup? You're asking yourself, what did I do wrong? You're trying to check, you're scanning, and then you're also checking from your partner's angle. What did they say is the reason for this breakup? Or what did they do that is occasioning this breakup? Let's say you're the one who's trying to walk away. Okay, what is that thing? You need to identify those things, and if possible, itemize them. You need to write them out. You need to know, I'm leaving this relationship for this reason or for that reason. In the events where you really can't find the reasons, but something doesn't just sit well with you, write it there too. I really can't place the reason, but I just feel like this person is not the one for me right now, and the earlier we leave, the better for us. You need to make it clear. Do you know why? Because when you don't do this, and with time, your emotion starts getting tricky, you will find yourself in some cases contemplating going back to that relationship that you already left, or that left you. And that is why sometimes some ladies, after you think they have healed for a while, after 3 months, they will run back to that boy's house and start begging, oh, please now, let's come back now. Really? Are you really moving on? Because they have not properly evaluated and taken time to find out what went wrong. There are ladies who are being abused in a relationship, but instead of them to leave, they keep running back. They keep running back. And that shows that abuser has really done the damage to their psyche. Has really done the damage. They can't find themselves outside of that person. They can't find validation elsewhere. They don't feel special anywhere else. They don't feel recognized. They don't feel heard anymore. So they would rather be in this abusive environment and just feel that thing they feel. But that is super wrong. All right? If you're able to ask yourself what caused this breakup, and you tell yourself the reasons, I'm leaving him because I can't find truth on his mouth. Nothing he has told me so far has been true. This is something deep. This has a lot to do with trust. He has never showed up early for any engagement we had, and he keeps giving flimsy reasons. Sometimes he forgets outrightly and keeps me waiting, and does not even apologize, does not pick up his call. Everything is suspicious about this person, and you take a decision to leave. Please remind yourself of that decision and honor it. So you want to find out what exactly caused this breakup. You're checking for your reasons. You're checking for their reasons. Okay. Now, sometimes it might not be anything that they're telling you at the moment. Okay. Sometimes you might not even see exactly. You might not be able to clearly articulate, but it's just important you take time to think through that process so that at the end of the day, you remind yourself of why you're taking this decision or why this decision is okay for you. Let me take a comment. A man once left because he wanted a lady with a lion heart. I was hurt for long until I recently came to understand that he just wanted a woman who could stand up for herself. Okay? Yeah. You see, now that you have realized that, if that was a quality you feel like you're lacking, and you think it's a quality that is important to you also, not just because the man that is loving you wants it, but because you also think it's important, okay? Then you start learning how to imbibe those qualities, how to internalize it, so that you too can become someone who is brave, who's courageous, who can speak up for herself, and who can stand up for herself. You see, but if you did not take time to understand that, you may still be hurting. Thank you for that example because it gives perspective to what we're talking about. If you don't understand what that reason is, what exactly that point is, you may still be hurting. And then you said, yeah, you think you are better now with communicating your disagreement. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. You see, so that is why it's important you're able to ask these questions. All right. Sit by yourself and engage yourself. Engage your mind. Ask questions. Some people are afraid of this because you start showing them all the areas where they need to work on themselves. Yeah, that's the essence. You need to be able to see those areas where you need to work on yourself so that you can do better. Don't you want to do better in life? See, it's one thing to actually be adding value to yourself, and it's another thing to pretend to be adding value to yourself. Let me put it this way. It's one thing to actually be a rich person, and it's another thing to pretend to be rich. So what you see in town are a lot of people who pretend to be rich, but they will not take their time. The time they invest in living the fake life of wealth, they won't take that time and invest in understanding how true wealth and true riches actually works. I hope somebody understands me. All right. So basically, it's more about who you are becoming. Take time to become that person and not be a wannabe. Don't be a let them think I'm doing well. Focus actually on doing well. And that is why you must sit beside yourself and answer these important questions. Now, the next question you want to ask yourself, in what ways did this relationship positively affect me? Now, this is very key. This is where you should actually start writing down points. Do you know one sorry situation? There are people you ask this question and they cannot mention one thing that relationship was a positive addition to their life. They can't mention one thing. They can't describe any way that relationship was a positive addition to their lives. If you are that person, don't beat yourself too much. Just tell yourself, thank God it is over. Thank God it's over. I need to know how to do better with my life in my next relationship. Or relationship. So what did you learn from it? What positive thing did you take out of it? All right. How did you become a better person? How did it improve your values? How did it improve your discipline? How did it improve your results? How did it improve the impact you're making on the earth? How did it improve your personality? How did it make you a more lovable person? How did it make you a nicer person? How did it make you a sweeter person? How did it increase your technical skills? How did it help you to further your education? How did it help you to further your career? How did it help you to earn a promotion, to close a deal? How did it help you become a better person? You need to write those things down. When you write those things down, listen, no matter the hurt you feel, tell yourself, I am grateful to God for these experiences, for these additions, for these lessons. Even though the relationship did not work, but at least I came out a better person. I learned this. I took this value out of it. Listen to me, not everyone you're in a relationship with, not everyone who comes into your life is necessarily meant to stay there forever. And that is why you must be able to evaluate the importance of relationships per time. Do you understand that? So what were the positive lessons? How did this relationship positively affect you? You want to write down those things. What areas of your life were improved? Okay. You see, let me give a few examples. Okay. You are someone who perhaps used to be a lazy person and just used to take life as it goes. But when you got into this relationship, because the guy is sort of a, quite an ambitious person and always reaching for new heights, looking for what's next, somehow he inspired you to go ahead and do your master's degree. He inspired you to go ahead and take a job, to learn a skill, to learn what's trending in tech, what's trending in your space. Somehow he pushed you to take a certification and you're better off for it now. And with that, you're able to apply for better jobs or start a business or do better in your business. You see, those are positive additions. What did you get out of this relationship? If you really think about it and you cannot see anything good that you took out of that relationship, somebody was evaluating a relationship one time and the only thing she told me, I'm trying to start editing some of the things I say. I don't know whether I should or whether I should not. The only thing she told me was very good knacks. That is what you're taking away from that relationship. That's all. Okay. Let me stop there. But please, what exactly is value to you? And I'm talking about value that actually impacts on the outcome of your life. Okay? Yeah, you're grateful for, is this 1 out of 2 X's? And for the heartbreak? Or half X's? All right? Yeah, exactly. There's something to be grateful for. So when you think and you find out, you would actually see that there were probably one or two positive things to take out of that relationship. When you find those things, be grateful for them. Thank God for those things. If there are values that you love and you would like to retain in your life, hold on to them. All right? Yeah, hold on to them. Yeah, okay, so you're grateful for one or two exes and the heartbreak. Excellent. Because you're finding value now. You're finding lessons. You're finding positive things that you took out of it. Okay, now just like you did for the positives, the flip side. In what ways did this relationship negatively affect you? Many people are negatively affected by their relationships because they are beginning to take on things that typically they would not have tolerated, typically things they would not do, personalities that they would not become. They begin to become those personalities just to suit their partner. So a guy who perhaps is not a spender, he's careful with his money, he's planning, he has projects, and he's disciplined with that because he's now trying to impress this girl who is always asking for the next flashy thing or the next gift that is costing a lot and designer this, designer that. He finds that he's no longer able to sustain that plan he had for his future, which she's supposed to benefit from if she's a wife material, but no, she wants to eat everything now, you see. And then he discovers that the past 3 years of his life, he has not made any progress on his savings, he has not made any progress on his investments, he has not made any progress on his career. And what has been happening? He has been spending on somebody who is no more here with him because she left him for somebody else who is a bigger spender. You see, so you need to tell yourself, what were the negative influences? There's a question there. Does everyone even need to chop breakfast in the span of one's life? Is it a necessity? See, the truth is, it's not a necessity. But then, like I said in the first session, you have to prepare your heart for disappointments because sometimes it will come in ways you don't expect. Okay? It's not a necessity. You must not have breakfast. You must not chop breakfast. See, most of the breakfasts people have served were because they were in relationships that they had no business being in. Or they got into a relationship at a time when they had no business being in a relationship. Do you understand? So it had to go wrong because both of you were wrong. The foundation was wrong. The motive was wrong. Everything was wrong. The reasons were wrong. So it had to go wrong. Do you understand? But if you are willing to stay till you are ready to contemplate marriage with someone, it may reduce the chances and the number of heartbreak that one would have. Do you understand that? So yes, it's possible to not necessarily chop breakfast. It's possible, yeah. All right, but then prepare yourself because it could come in other ways. Now, there are times that you're already in a relationship with someone. It might not be a breakup, but they will do something that will touch you to the bone marrow, and you will wish, I wish I can live now. Okay, now it might not be something that you should leave the relationship for. Okay, because sometimes when we take those decisions in anger and in that disappointment, we might lose something that can actually become a good relationship. I remember counseling with someone once, and by the time she told me the reasons why she left the relationship, I couldn't help saying, oh my God, you could have just stayed a bit longer because he's a great guy. These things can be worked out. You see? So there are things that can be worked out, okay, and it might not necessitate you leaving that relationship, but it may hurt you at some point when that thing happened. Okay? Someone says, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. May God help you. May God help you. You don't want this meal in your relationship life. It will shatter your emotions too bad. All right? Yeah. Someone says, okay, yeah, you're right, sir. I know a girl who dated a narcissist and then became manipulative like her ex. Exactly. You start picking up those things from the person. You start learning of them. They start rubbing over on you. You start talking like them. You start commenting like them. Okay? Oh, yeah, I saw it. It wasn't a question. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so let me move on. I think I have just 10 minutes left of my time. So the last question I asked you was, in what ways did the relationship negatively affect you? You also need to itemize those things so that you can start undoing those negative effects. So if you're that lady, for example, who is now a narcissist, who is now, you're the most important person in the world. Every other person is wrong. You are right. And you start, everything is the world centers around you. You begin to display all of those vibes. Hey, you need to identify it too. That's still where I picked this behavior from. And it's not good though. All right. Now, there are certain things about yourself that you may not even notice. But guess what? If you have good friends around you, feel free to take this evaluation with them. What do you think have changed? Has anything, what are those areas of my life where you think is my weakness, where you think I need to do better? You need to have people who you can have those conversations with. So you can do a SWOT analysis with your friends. Okay. You guys exchange, and write about each other. What do you think are my strengths? What do you think are my weaknesses? What do you think are my opportunities? What do you think are my threats? I write for you, you write for me. At the end of the day, we discuss it. This is what I think from how I observe you've been living your life. I think you're quite a careless person. I think it could cost you this, it could cost you that. I think you're not someone who follows through to the end. Okay, I think you need to be more tenacious. You need to learn how to stay, how to be disciplined. You see, you have to discuss those things with yourselves. All right, so that you know how you can get better. So in what ways did that relationship negatively affect you? All right, let me ask you the next question. What value can you say you added to your partner's or your ex's life? What value can you say you added to this person's life? Really think about it. What value? I think there are a few questions. When a woman says she has no emotions towards a man, what does it mean? Okay, I'll take some of these questions at the end. There's another question. Can we send a DM after? Oh, yes, please send a DM. Send a DM. Someone sent me a DM last week and I kept looking for it. I didn't see it till just some days back. I hope that person is not so offended. I will respond to it after this session. Okay. But you can send a DM. As soon as I find it, I'll send to you. But what you need to know is my personal handle, Coach Maisie, is where I really follow people back on. All right. So if you drop me a message there, or if you can find my Coach Maisie and go follow me there, I'll follow you immediately. And then we can chat over there. And before long, I'll transfer the chat to WhatsApp because that's where I chat better. All right, on WhatsApp. But you can definitely drop a DM after this session, rather. Okay. And for that other question, I'll try and come back to it. Let me run through these points. Okay. So I asked, what value can you say you brought to that relationship? What did you bring? What did you add to that person's life? What did you add to that person's life? Ask yourself that. Because some of you only think that you are there to receive. Do for me, give to me, help me, buy for me, help me, give me, me. What did you add to that person's life, bros or sister? What did you add to his life? Did that person become worse off after they met you? Their life was going up before. When they met you, it started coming down. Is that going to be the person's testimony? So the question is, what did you add to that person's life? You want to think about that. What impact did your presence in that person's life add to them? Or are they the kind of people who are just so stubborn that they refuse growth, they refuse development, they refuse spiritual development? Everything you tried to do, they frustrated it and then you had to run. Was that the case? You need to take note of that. Love me, give me, feed me, never leave me, people. Yeah. So there are people like that. So you want to ask yourself, what did I even contribute? In what ways did I help this person's life? Let me move on. Next question you want to ask yourself. What would you do differently in the next relationship? You see, so now that you have checked what additions you made in the person's life, you have checked what positive lessons you took out of that relationship, you have checked what the negative things are, all right? The question next is, what would you do differently in your next relationship? What would you do differently? Okay, someone says, imagine taking breakfast from someone you've never dated. Oh, wow. I once told this my close friend who was showing green light that I like him. Okay, 2 years later, I'm excited that I ate that breakfast. Why? Because the guy was a married serial cheat. Wow. So you're happy you escaped that, you see? So go back to those points we spoke about, reasons why some heartbreak could be a blessing. This is one of them. Okay, he's married, he's not staying and committed to his marriage, yet he's pursuing other people up and down. And then sometimes some girls are deceived to think that it is the one they have with this person that will work. Okay, meanwhile, he's just a playboy out there on the street. All right, so what would you do differently in your next relationship? Now that you have gotten all these points, what would be different? Are you going to be a more lovable person? Maybe your past relationships have ended because as a lady, you talk too much. Your mouth is too sharp. Before they say 1, you say 10. You know, I was counseling with someone one time. She told me the same thing. Hey, I know myself, my mouth is very, very sharp. If anytime he talks to me, before he lands, I'll give him a lot. Yeah, you know. If you're that kind of person, what are you going to do differently in your next relationship? Perhaps you need to learn to control your emotions. You need to learn to control your speech. You need to learn to control yourself, control what you say. You need to listen to, they say you have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that you can listen twice as much as you speak. All right. So you want to calm down. What are you going to do differently in your next relationship? If you can write out points and answer these questions, then, that is a whole lot for you, to make your life better for your next relationship. Next question is, what would you look out for in the next person? Now that you have gathered these lessons, it should help you to be able to know that certain people are a no-no, why certain people stand a chance, why certain people are a yes. Why? Because you have itemized certain qualities, and when you see these things playing out in the next person talking to you, you know that no need to consider this because these kind of people behave like this, and I'm not ready to check if this one is different. So, no chance. And then, who are you going to give chance to? And then, who is that one that is a yes? All right? So, what would you look out for in the next person? The final point I will say on this is make time to speak with a counselor, speak with a coach, speak with a therapist, as the case may be. These are all different things. So some people think they are synonymous. They're all different services. All right. They're all different kinds of intervention, different modalities and approaches, right? So speak to someone, speak to a professional so that they can help you heal. They can help you run through some of these points I've asked you, help you extract lessons, all right? Extract the positives, all right? See what lessons you're taking out of it, what you will do differently, and then so that you can heal better and move on to the next stage of your life. All right? So very quickly, I'll run through the 9 things I said. The first question, question number 1, what exactly is the emotion in your heart at the moment? Identify that emotion. Own it, okay? Don't deny it. Own it. It's okay. You're human, all right? The second question is, why do I feel the way I feel at the moment? The third question is, what caused this breakup? And you're checking yourself. You're also checking from your partner's perspective. The fourth question is, in what ways did this relationship positively affect you? The fifth question is, in what ways did this relationship negatively affect you? The sixth question is, what value can you say you contributed to this person's life? In other words, what impact did you make in their lives? The seventh question you're asking is, what would you do differently in your next relationship? The eighth question and final question is, what would you look out for in the next person? And then the ninth point, which is not a question, is an admonition, is that you should speak with a counselor, speak with a therapist, speak with a professional who can help you navigate this stage of your life and then prepare you for what is coming. I hope you have enjoyed the session so far. This is all I'm saying for today, but I'm going to take a few questions, a few comments and questions, and see how quickly I can treat them. Someone says, more than likely, breakfast would make you build more walls in your next relationship. That is true, but you also want to be sure that those walls are the right walls, okay? Not walls of suspicion, not walls of insecurity, not walls of anxiety or fear of distrust, okay? So you want to be sure it's the right walls, okay? Yes, counselor, coach, therapist. Oh, yes, they're different, all right? They're different approaches. Yeah, they're different, all right? Let me see. There was one question I saw before that I said I was going to come back to. Where's that question? Okay. When a woman says she has no emotions towards a man, what does it mean? So at what stage of the friendship or relationship is she saying this? Is this when you're trying to ask her out and she's saying, hey, I feel nothing for you, I'm not interested? Or were they in a relationship and then now she's leaving you and she's saying, I don't feel anything anymore for you? What does it mean? Well, it could mean that initially that relationship was based on feelings. It was based on how she felt for you at the time. And unfortunately, those butterflies that were in her tummy have either been stabbed and have died, or they have flown away and they have gone to look for another person. So, yes, no more emotions. I'm not attracted to you anymore. I don't like you again. I used to like you before, but now I don't like you. Okay? There's one thing I posted one time where a girl called the guy and said, I want to know if you still wanted me because you wanted me before, but I did not wanted you. But now the person that wanted me does not wanted me again. So do you wanted me? And the guy said, no, they have took me. Okay? So, yeah, perhaps she has seen somebody else that she wants to go ahead with. All right? So, yeah, there could be other things, but for now, let me stop here. I hope this has been a good use of your time. Please feel free to send me messages in the DM. All right. Feel free to check the link in my bio. We have a lot of resources. All right. There's a mentorship program I'm doing. Subscribe to it and have access. So many things that we're doing. I have books, I have resources, both free and paid for. I'll encourage you to check the link in my bio so that you can also consume some of these resources. All right. But for now, I'll have to stop. Who is crying? Yeah, sorry, don't cry, don't cry. All right. Yes, amazing use of your time. Thank you so much, RJB. God bless you. Thank you for keeping it real and all the value you added. And everyone else too. Thank you. Have a good night. See you again next Wednesday. And I think we'll have one Wednesday before the Q&A. That's right. All right, guys. See you again later. Bye.